Hello.
Hello.
How are you? I was talking to you.
Oh, I'm doing good.
Kaylin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am. I'm feeling good. We just recorded a podcast and felt it was a good idea to just put a topper on the show. You know, we usually have a little goof just to kind of tease what's coming. But what is coming is a pretty tough podcast about a pretty tough subject that happened on Below Deck this week. I thought we did a great job.
I think so too. And so the first half is going to be of episode 6. We mix it up a little funny.
We make fun of Serena not knowing how to say pollo. We talk about how she just put eggs everywhere on that salad, which was insane.
And then the second half, we get into the
Sexual assault.
Yeah. So, we just want you guys.
If anybody doesn't, I don't know if you came to this podcast wanting to listen to Below Deck and you need a trigger warning or something.
Different.
I don't know.
It's different. It's
a
different
episode. Yeah. It's a different episode.
So hopefully we handled it appropriately. I think we did. And
I think Rubes helped. Rubes
definitely.
helped a lot. Yeah, Kaylin did almost nothing.
Well, he's our support.
Yeah. All right. Love you guys so much for listening. Enjoy the episode. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. I'm Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted. It is with a heavy heart that I introduce my baby sister Papaya Dog Girl in from the Big Apple. I wish you were here on better circumstances.
Me too.
But we've got a heavy... Oh, Kaylin's here.
Hi.
And we have to talk about Patrick.
Oh.
Are you going to go with the shades or shadeless?
I can't see my notes with the glasses on.
I know, but...
I understand it's disturbing to make eye contact with me. I'll try not to make eye contact with you.
Okay.
Well, it's not disturbing if the glasses are on, but when they're off, it is quite...
I know, but I can't read my notes. It's an important episode to cover, man.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't do it. I won't look at you. I'm sorry.
So tonight's episode, we felt it would be prudent if a female voice was in the room with us tonight. Kaylin just was not going to cut it.
No.
So we asked Rubes to come in. This is going to be an odd episode. We have some very, very serious stuff to talk about. And it might seem like we're burying the lead a bit, but we've got a job to do here.
Yeah,
so
it's a comedy podcast.
Yeah, we've got a goof about, what happens in the front of the episode. I cannot believe that you look the way you look.
I have to
right
say
now.
this. It's not my fault.
Did you not smell that the pillow had a certain
It did
chemical?
smell nice. I slept on a pillow last night where the fabric softener didn't get washed out of the pillow, and then it's made my eye itchy.
Yeah.
And now they're all
Both
puffy.
eyes, yeah.
They're both. You should see what my chest looks like.
Oh no.
Oh, what happened to your chest?
Everything. It all came out in hives. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
allergic to
God.
fabric
Everything
softener.
at all came out in hives.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel better though.
The fabric softener is never washed out of the fabric. The point of it is that it's administered in the dryer. I think, right? That's when you put the little rags in. I throw like 15 of them in there, and my wife's like, "You're wasteful. There's no point."
No, but it has to smell like.
I was like, I wanted it to smell like the like the meadow. All right, so
All right. Well, I'll try not to make eye contact.
He pulled his hat down really
yeah,
low.
now you look like
Yeah,
a
that's
newspaper boy. Don't do that. All right, let's get into it. Pat, why don't you hit us with some public service announcements before anything else?
Very, very important stuff before we get into the funny stuff and then later some heavy stuff. Okay. We got to interview Fraser this week.
Oh, gosh.
Dylan said it's our best interview we've ever done.
I think it is our best interview. I think Fraser gets it. I think Fraser played along very well with us. He hated me to begin the interview.
That's not true.
And we kind of mended things as we went through the interview, but we learned a lot about the life of a sea rat, the life of Bravo talent. It was just a really, really awesome interview.
If you want to hear like a main cast member talk real about the show, he does it. I can't believe he did it. He was so gracious to come in, and him and I are buddies now. This is my new best friend.
Big buddies. He said, we just have to cut some of the stuff that he said because he was very, very transparent. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a fan meetup at patreon.com, $12 tier. You can ask us questions, and we may or may not tell you what he said.
But he definitely hates Sandy.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
That was great.
Big time.
The other...
Hey, Rubes, how you doing?
Really good. Thank you.
Okay.
Other piece of business, Dylan.
Yeah.
Patreon. We are going back and we are going to cover season 1. Dylan and I just got to cover episode 1 and 2. The second episode was with Sam, who was on the show season 1. Spilled a lot of tea. Didn't talk well about Captain Lee. There's some secrets there about that jerk. And we will re-release those 2 episodes on patreon.com/another podcast network. And starting next week, when I'm having a baby, Quentin's on his way, Dylan and I will pick up with episode 3, which they tried to bury because it was so inappropriate.
Oh, that's right.
And homophobic, but it does exist. And I think we're going to get Kat from season 1 to recap it with us. So for $5 a month, you can go along that journey to recap season 1 of Below Deck, the OG.
Yeah.
And it's really fun because we can have all the cast members on. They have no fucking loyalty to Bravo, and we can really have a lot of fun with it.
They're selling boats and working at paintball places now. So they have no, they'll spill everything. So join us at Patreon.
So sign up right now.
that.
We need you to sign up in August, and we'll start dropping the episodes.
And then you're at Papaya.Girl on TikTok.
No.
All right. So, Kaylin, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Let's get into the episode. Let's just combine our pots for the double feature that we witnessed. If I can go first,
Please do.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Although you haven't talked like at all.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
though.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So tonight's episode was quite a spectrum of emotion, entertainment. It felt to me, I was heartbroken. I was inspired. I was happy. I was sad. It was like an episode of Seventh Heaven in a way, but with like really serious stuff, not Jessica Biel like smoking a cigarette. You know what I mean? But there was just a lot of drama and a lot of heartstringy stuff. I couldn't be more proud of the MVP of this episode, Kermit herself, Aisha. I haven't loved someone on reality TV like this since probably who punched Candace in the face at the winery? Monique Samuels. Yeah, that's probably it. So great. Unfortunately, great episode. I'd give it like 97 pots. Ribs.
Yeah. I would say same thing. Big bummer in that latter half, and
Big bummer.
really big, but a really wonderful not bummer was watching everybody be really, really great. And that was really heartwarming. And it was also a very good episode until it was a bummer. So,
Oh, the guests?
oh my God.
Incredible people.
Yeah. So
The memorial? Arroz con polo?
arrows, they
Who knows? You can pull that
arrows
together
and
by
pollo.
just a Google search,
Yeah. Real chefs, that's who. So
Yeah.
I would
That's
say, I agree, Dylan, 97.
97. Pat?
Aisha.
Why don't you let Kaylin go
sure.
first?
I was actually pretty disturbed by the episode.
Okay.
It made me just feel very weird watching a predator
it was
operate like that.
Yeah. It was.
Was it a good quote unquote episode? A lot of things happened. I found it kind of disturbing, to be honest. I'd
Okay.
probably give it more like 70 pots.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough. You're there and you do what you're doing.
Right.
We have to talk about the bummer, and I feel like you're kind of bumming the show out a little bit right now. It was a great episode. Pat, go ahead.
All right.
14 pots for you.
I just have to agree with Dylan wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Aisha, thank you for stepping in there. I tried to remember back. We've been covering this for 5 years. If production has ever stepped in, I'm not going to assume that production would have not stepped in, but I will say that definitely Aisha and her just relentless
Sixth sense.
He's got to get out of that room.
Yeah.
Is props to you, Aisha.
Yeah.
Jeez.
As a former sexual assault victim in
Yeah.
the same situation,
Yeah.
to have the wherewithal and I get like courage, all of it, just
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And Captain Jason to not be one of those, well, I gotta, just the old school guy thing. It was really nice to see Captain Hot Pants do it how he did it.
Rack
And
a lamb. Good job.
I have to tell you on a serious note before we, this is a comedy podcast and we'll get into it. I thought about this a lot today, and I called my wife and I said, "Why am I thinking about this so much?" And she said, "Because you have a daughter."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I would fucking kill a guy.
Yeah.
And you're about to have a son.
And I'm about to have a son. And
Yeah.
I'll teach him to be a good guy that
Yeah.
won't engage in that horrible behavior. Yes, there were waves. I did not know this episode was coming. I was getting Facebook alerts as I was watching episode 6, which was the episode that
It's
preceded
like when
this
Logan
episode.
Roy just dies in the 4th episode. I was like, holy shit.
I was just, what is going on here? And we'll get into, I guess, our thoughts later in the episode about this. But I'm sorry my thoughts have been so heavy about the back half of what we're covering.
Yeah.
All in all, episode 6 was an interesting episode as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure Zarina was on Molly when she looked at that preference sheet.
100%.
But anyway, yes, this is, they could have buried this episode or cut it differently or whatever to avoid kind of dealing with these topics.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that they just laid it out there.
Yeah.
So 90 knots.
Seminal Below Deck episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Down Under has been phenomenal so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
Though I do fear as though we've buried the lead. Well, definitely not buried the lead. I misspoke, but just forgot a little piece of shit we forgot to mention.
Oh, Laura.
Yeah.
I'm going to fix her up with someone. Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, good.
I'm going to fix her up with him. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who fucked him in jail, and they can hook him up together.
Okay. All right. That is, you're
A
playing.
match made in heaven is what that is,
well,
Patrick.
He plays this game all the time, 6 Degrees of Separation from Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, I don't want to play this right now. It's a weird riff on the game. But it makes me so sad that there are people from, with all the faults that America has, at least we do not come from a culture where you are indoctrinated into defending the gender that you perceive is more valuable than you, which is what I think is going on with Laura. It's really, really gross shit from her.
Can I bring up one other thing? Because I was reading through all the comments. I was kind of obsessed today in this world of getting everybody's take, and there was some interesting takes. Someone had said, Gary King, who of course is the bosun on Sailing, if he worked under hot captain pants, his ass would be
grass.
Would be grass. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it would.
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
We're talking here. This is a safe space
No,
to share our feelings.
Was that all right? What I said about Laura? I think I
Yeah, I
believe
think you're
that.
okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not trying to say America. I'm no patriot right now or anything.
We're all friends here, man.
Well, also, if we're wrong, and if in Latvia they do value women more than men, then you'll recant that statement. But
Yeah. I'll recant it.
yeah.
But I think.
I also think that people I don't.
Why
I think,
else would she be that way?
Well, initially, I don't think she understood the situation because I don't know if she saw it or whatever, and also because she's like Margot said, fucked up. I think she's fucked up. I don't know. It was very disturbing to watch.
Well, yeah. Let's not get into the origin story of C-rat behavior because that's just not that's a dungeness place to go. It's already a bummer episode. But let's kick things off with the red meat fiasco, wherein Serena has fed tomahawks to people who do not like red meat. We've got a fix, though. Serena is putting together a few lobster tails and a corn cob salad for the guests. Now, this is not a salad of corn cut from the cob. It's just a cob salad with ribs of corn placed like some kind of culinary massacre over a bed of lettuce. It was halves and halves and halves of hard-boiled eggs. And it was one of the more disgusting things I've seen served on this show.
Now, Dylan, my wife, I know you're not a fan of her cooking. Famously, you busted her balls for putting avocado on a Caesar salad, and you said, "Why are you being so cute, Cherie?"
Can I tell you something real
Yes.
quick? It wasn't just that the pasta was cooked within an inch of its life. But I sat down at a diner in Santa Barbara this weekend. I looked at the Caesar. I said, I'm set. In the Caesar,
Yes.
tomatoes, onions, avocado, and black olives.
Should we make that thing?
I mean, what are we talking? What are we doing here? I ordered it. It was fine. It was not a Caesar, though.
Right.
It was fraudulently
Well, the
named.
reason I bring this up is Sheree yelled at the TV. She doesn't yell at the TV a lot. She said, "Start cooking shrimp." When Zarina was walking around in circles, I think my wife felt that shrimp would at least be the culinary Band-Aid that would buy her a little time as a course.
People love shrimp.
They do. And it
Yeah.
would have fallen under, I guess, any restrictions on that preference.
Caitlin, you like
Right.
shrimp?
Love it.
Yep. See? That's what I'm talking about. Who doesn't love a good shrimp cocky? Sit down.
Oh, yes.
Be brave with the horseradish.
Be brave.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I do.
Yeah. So the other thing that happens is that she serves the tomahawk perfectly cooked to somebody who does not want it to be perfectly cooked. The issue that I had with it was not the cook contrasting with what he asked for. But it was rather, she served him a piece of like fat cap. You could just see it. It was just like, what? Serena, are you on Molly right now? What is going on? And then she sears it in a lukewarm, wet pan. I mean, the meat is graying. I was just like, get me out of here. It was a nightmare dinner, 4 pots.
Now, perhaps there was some distraction here. I got to be even-handed with my judgment of captains that are spending a little too much time in the galley. Captain Hot Pants, if you're a listener, you can start moving some furniture down there because
Yeah,
you're spending a lot of time in that galley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might as well be the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Mammoth Lakes.
Yeah.
I don't know where people get timeshares. I think those two places.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know what. Yep.
No, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. I wonder if you can get a recliner down through those tight hallways. That'd be pretty comfortable.
He would make it work.
I don't know. I don't think he needs a recliner.
No?
A fucking hot ass. He doesn't want to atrophy. Maybe a medicine ball. Deflate it and blow it up.
Oh, there you go.
That would be really good.
Engage.
How about a flat
before.
panel?
What?
A TV.
Patrick,
Gonna be down there for a while.
That's not what
he's there to cook, Patrick.
Yeah.
Patrick, come on.
You're just completely missing the point. And
It's 'cause he can't
you
see.
look like you're going to cry.
I can't see anything.
All right. So, one of the many little reasons why I hate Laura, and I again think that it just comes from, kind of Cold War cultures colliding. She presents the meat to the man once again. He says, it's a little overdone, being sarcastic. And she just looks at him like, what do you, she just doesn't get it. I'm like, you would just suck to be around. You have a weird sense of humor. You're predatory. You just make dog bowls. You just fucking suck. This weird coup complex where you think that you're going to be manning the vessel by yourself in 2 weeks. You just shut the fuck up. God.
It's nuts. And that steak did get sent back. Now,
It's nuts.
It's nuts. Now, Captain Hot Pants, he does bring up something that's really important and 100% true. I'm not sure if he says this to Zarina or us, but he says, look, you can do a lot of things on a charter as far as service, but the food is what really propels that tip.
Yeah, of
You can
course.
fucking leave glass on the teak. Someone can, their foot's fucking bleeding from it.
Yep.
You'd be like, I had to have my fucking foot amputated.
Yeah.
But that's why you have 2 legs.
Right.
But that fucking, those lamb pops or whatever the fuck, those were delicious.
Delicious.
I'm going to tip you out.
But
You melted my silk dress that I specifically
100%.
had for my birthday.
melted my silk dress, almost drowned. I don't know how I ended up 500 feet away from the boat, but I did. That's your fault.
Shit happens.
If you
the
just
cake was delicious.
if you just chuck Uncrustables at people, though,
$30,000 tip.
that's not going to work. All right. So, you love an Uncrustable.
I was going to say I would give you a $30,000 tip.
Hey, Haley, that's our PR person, I think, assigned to us for this. Haley, we want Zarina in here. I think Dylan's going to ask her if she's like talking to the walls or something. Can we have her on, please? I want to understand what's going on.
I would
in this
actually
kitchen.
love to get her on in here when she is on Molly.
Yeah, I would.
That would
I
be
would
it.
take Molly too. We'd have a crazy podcast.
Yeah. I'd do it too.
All right. So the cake is served, and luckily these guests are so blacked out that this just fixes all errors of the evening's disaster. When she sees the person smash the primary Renee smash his friend's face in the cake, Serena is horrified. And I would say to Serena, don't be horrified. Be so unbelievably grateful.
Yeah, yeah.
Be the most grateful.
I would do this. I just keep smashing my face and I go, fuck you. You didn't read the preference sheet. That's what I'm
What?
doing to your fucking cake. Disrespect the cake. Because she points out that she spent all day making it like art. And then it was so disrespected in 2 seconds of it being delivered. I go, you deserve that.
Hey,
Their entire meal was ruined.
several seats, don't you think?
Or is he entirely in the right? And as Patrick is repeatedly just smashing his head into the cake, saying "fuck you, it's your fault," he's also shitting on the deck.
There you go.
So don't.
Pat would be a fucking nightmare to serve. I'd be cool. I would just be like, this isn't a Caesar, try again. But I wouldn't defecate everywhere.
One thing Fraser had pointed out during this interview, and it's very juicy, and we'll get to it, is that the guest that Below Deck
He goes into Trump, like that
Is that a Trump?
so much about that was so perfect. He was like, it didn't make any sense. He was like, and it's very juicy. We'll get to it. What do you mean we'll get to it?
No, when we drop the episode, you can't wait for it because he had said the charter guest that they're having now is
It's going through the courts. They'll do something. It's like, what the fuck? All right. So Luke kicks things off with an amuse-bouche of sexual assault early on in the first part of the first episode.
he kisses her and while he's like touching her hair or something like that.
Yeah,
It's a quick scene.
he pulls one of his like close your eyes, I'm gonna kiss you without your consent type things, where he's like, hey, look, there's a hair in there, and then he just fucking like shoves her head in, and it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was really strong what you just did to my head, so don't do that anymore.
And you know that if she had in that moment had been like, hey, what the fuck? That's not fucking cool. He'd be like, oh my God, relax, Margo, fucking chill.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've got no idea what I'm going to do.
So much of him makes me feel like the girl in the kid seat GIF. You know, the Disneyland one? Yeah, just the, oh my.
He makes me feel
And
like.
then, but the last thing I was much more incensed than the girl in the back seat on the way to Disneyland.
Yeah, I was gonna say he makes me feel like the girl from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I want to do to him what she did to that man. That's what he makes me feel like.
Yeah, so you're Rooney Mara and he's some kind of Skarsgård.
No. He's the big fat man that
Yeah,
I
she writes pig on his head.
Pig or rapist or something on your chest.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was in the beginning of the movie. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of the
Or
middle.
it's a full circle.
Oh, okay, cool. So next day,
Next day. Well, I got some meanwhiles. here,
big
too.
meanwhile. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hot Pants is concerned looking at that $30 app about
Yeah,
the weather.
nice. That is a really nice app.
Harry and Margot, Harry the nice guy, Margot, they missed their coffee date.
Yeah.
Zarina's going to attempt a Mexican bagel, which is not a thing.
No.
I have, and it's
is
so beautiful
not.
that someone who is not of the Jew
Right.
would feel the same way, because when you see a Mexican bagel, you just have to think you've gone too far.
Also, why isn't this just avocado toast? Because that's delicious.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't call it putting it on a bagel normal, but I mean, you know, we're doing a lot of Frankenfoods these days.
It makes it unnormal to put it on the bagel.
Yeah. I would just say that this is kind of like I don't know. It's like a Chat GPT 4 thing. It's just we've gone too far with this. This is not an improvement. Although it's really helping people write letters. You know, I don't like the way this person acted on Slack, but I don't know how to say it. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT.
Write me a sort of passive-aggressive response to a coworker geared toward millennial mothers who are fans of the new Barbie movie.
Yep. And perfect.
Bam!
Boom. Bing, bong, boom. Today's episode is brought to you by Green Chef. What is Green Chef, Pat?
It's meals delivered to your home, so you can still experience making the meals together because all the ingredients are laid out.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go to that grocery store.
You know what else it is?
What is it?
A CCOF certified meal kit company, Green Chef makes eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle with your keto, with all these diets, I'm getting all twisted up. But whatever you have, pretty much, Green Chef has a balanced meal for you. They offer a range of recipes to suit your preferences. Pat, when I walked in here today, I saw that you and the wife had just pulled off a couple honey mustard chicken cheddar wraps.
Allie helped out as well, Dylan,
Yeah.
because that's the whole fun part about this. You can make it a family experience. It's not just about eating and making your life easier. It's about a shared experience of cooking food together.
Eat clean the easy way with recipes that help manage your weight and support your wellness goals without skimping on the flavor. I know that has been beneficial lately because you told me you got Ellie on a little bit of a weight loss program.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Too much candy lately. We got to reel that in. You know, you shouldn't give a child everything they want, Dylan.
With Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery store shopping. And listen, they deliver everything you need to eat clean the easy way this summer. Feel your best with nutritionist-approved recipes packed with clean ingredients that support your healthy lifestyle and taste great too. Listen, what we need you to do right now, and we're not messing around, okay? The advertisers are wonderful companies that make it so that we can do this podcast, okay? So support them as much as you support us by going to greenchef.com/belowdeck50 and use promo code belowdeck50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Again, that is greenchef.com/belowdeck50 and use code belowdeck50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. That's insane.
That's insane. And
that's like a Sears clearance sale, but for a company that's actually doing well.
Yes.
You
And
know?
for the first 3 fans of ours that buy Green Chef and subscribe
And
to it.
DM us.
No, well, post it in Facebook. I'll do a full-on shout-out for you.
Yeah. All right. So listen, Green Chef. It's a same company as HelloFresh, and with a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's something for everyone. We love switching between the brands. Give me a little HelloFresh here. Give me a little Green Chef here. And now our listeners can enjoy both brands as well. Use that discount. Mm-hmm. We said it. Mm-hmm. Get the honey mustard cheddar chicken wrap. Now back to the show.
So
Yeah.
I think I finished this. Meanwhile, Dill. So the weather really sucks ass. So the exterior, they all get together for a team meeting, you know, and they come up with this great idea. They're gonna get the guests so drunk they forget how much this vacation sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's a really, really good plan. But yes, the weather is really bad, and we know that because of the $30 app.
Yes.
And some would say, well, you just stand outside, you can tell that there's glass flying everywhere like grenades. But if you don't have the app, you're missing a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The app is the why, not the what, you know? Mm-hmm. And you need that sometimes. But continuing with the meanwhile, a lot of meanwhile.
Oh, yeah.
Laura isn't getting enough juice out of the line. Mm-hmm. And Aisha says, does her family own a lime orchard? No, Aisha. They make dog bowls. Nothing grows there. It's a land of potatoes and shit and misogyny. That's it. And winters. Cold winters. They can't make the dog bowls out of metal.
No.
Because you can't stack them. They'll freeze together. Dog can't drink out of that. It's like a leaning tower of pizza. Dog's not tall enough to
No,
get.
he's not.
All right, so arroz con pollo time. They are doing a memorial for Renee's mother, and on Serena's docket this evening, fresh off of, some real one flew over the cuckoo's nest type shit, is a dish that is very, very important to Latin Americans. To equate it to the Mexican bagel, if you try to put smoked salmon on top of the arroz con pollo, it's not going to work.
No, it will not.
Plates are going to fly. So I'm worried for her.
Now, I wanna-
She's calling it polo.
She called it polo. She called it polo. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I pronounce things wrong all the time.
Right,
And
me
you give me
too.
shit for it. And she's going to get shit for this. Also, she is a fucking deer in the headlights when I believe it's Sandra, the co-primary, who's married to Renee, whose mother they will be doing the memorial for.
Yeah.
Walks down politely into the galley. Oh, hey, just checking on we got this all together, right? Because you fucked up dinner last night.
Yeah.
Czarina seems truly confused.
Yeah. She does look shell-shocked.
Yeah.
A lot,
Scared.
though, often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kermit's like looking at her. Oh, no.
And she does. She opens that door,
Ribbit.
though, and Zarina goes, "Hi, beautiful."
Pat, you look
good.
like you're crying.
No,
is.
I think it's getting all the bad stuff out of my eyes, you know?
The bad stuff.
Yeah. I think because my eyes were swollen all day. I couldn't see. I shouldn't have been driving my car. You know, I could have killed people today.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got to provide for my family. Anyway,
Right.
I'm starting to feel a
You know
lot
Captain
better.
Underpants?
I know. Yes.
The bad stuff seems like an ominous kind of antagonist to Captain Underpants.
Oh, I think the swelling's going down, Dylan.
All right.
starting to feel a lot
So,
better.
meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
we're just trying to get to the rape. That's it.
Oh God. Yup. Icky.
Angry Adam's getting seasick. We're
can
going.
you imagine this son of a bitch? Someone allergic to fucking cotton candy working at a carnival or something. Like, get out of here. They're throwing up where kids are. You fucking dumbass. You can't be on these vessels. You throw up every 4 hours. There's paying customers. Vomit has a very, 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 very pungent odor to it.
Oh, yeah.
You can smell from like 40 feet away.
The pH of the thing is like 5. I mean, it's just unbelievably acidic. I don't know if it's up or down. I don't know if 5's right, but it stings.
Anyway, he needs to go.
No, he doesn't. And one of the many things of this episode is just how confused I am about Angry Adam, because he is such a mensch this entire episode. But on the past three episodes, he's been like bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup, but really like that all the time about
Yeah.
safety, and then that breakfast sandwich. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do Cuba tonight. Laura is going to help Aisha not fail in front of these guests. Once again, Laura, shut the fuck up.
Now, there was one, I generally don't.
Can't stand her.
I generally don't like the trope of beating the clock and also like the boat docking, but I did appreciate 50 minutes until
The
it would
chicken.
take 45 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
She had 50 minutes when the provisioners handed her that polo.
Yeah. She's like, how long does the polo take to cook? And just in the nick of time. Yeah, it was like whatever the part 1 of the 18th Mission Impossible movie is. All right, so we get provisions, and the dinner goes over great. Thank God this is a rustic dish, because it was plated with...
No.
It was plated in a very commissary kind of way, you know?
It was plated in a way that looked like a child without hands would put food on a plate. That's how it was plated.
Yeah. You remember when we went to that sports camp and we got bullied as kids? Mm-hmm. Do you remember how they used ice cream scoopers all the time for all of our food there? That's what it looked like.
Yeah, so Zarina, stop using ice cream scoopers, okay?
It's not a way to plate food.
No.
Laura is focusing on Adam now. Her tactic is to show Adam attention and see how he responds. Spoiler alert, very negatively.
Yeah.
And categorically so, but it turns out that doesn't matter.
Nope.
Because her real tactic is to suck the meaning out of the word no.
Yeah.
Like some evil vacuum.
Yeah. That's that vacuum over there is really mean.
Yeah.
Won't take no for an answer.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah. I'm feeling better now.
The thought of an evil vacuum is very funny, like
Yeah.
a household appliance that it's like, I know that you don't want me to get that. I'm going to get that cord. And
Yeah,
then he, like,
Captain
sucks up
Underpants
your-
villain. Yeah, once
Yeah.
again. Did you put like an ointment underneath your eyes or anything
No,
like that?
I think that's the secretion of tears coming out of my eyes.
Okay.
You see the swelling going down.
No.
No, not down.
Yeah, because we've just been here the whole time, so we haven't seen you earlier this morning. It looks like you need many ice packs and a lot of Benadryl.
Or a little pouch or sack for your newspapers.
Yeah, and a bike. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is a great opportunity to plug our YouTube. Bad TV podcast on YouTube. You can watch the video of and see if you're as disgusted with my appearance as Dylan and Ruby are.
Yeah.
You will be.
Kaylin, you're grossed out, right? Kaylin.
It is odd.
God
I got a
damn
hat
it.
down, okay?
All right,
Okay.
so we get to the memorial. Well,
Well,
first,
I love how Kermit had to ask, do you still want to do the memorial? Yeah, no shit. She handed you a fucking painting of this dead lady.
Right.
Like 3 hours later. That
tonight is not the night to speak ill of Kermit.
I did think it was good.
Don't speak ill of Kermit tonight.
It's my only time.
This is like the producers keep cutting to Margot drinking. And I'm like, what are you? Are we doing this episode? Why do we have to do this episode?
Well,
It's ridiculous, Bravo. Come on.
Asia's our queen, but when they're all standing there and she goes, when did she die? You're like, oh, Asia, don't start.
Had she passed?
Hey,
Yeah.
when she says something stupid, call her Kermit, you know?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
All right, so the memorial is very, very heartwarming and very sad. He was homeless, and she kept him alive and loved enough to become a success later in life. Just really sweet people.
Yeah, and he really loved her.
He loved her so much.
And tradition is really important. My wife and I want to definitely keep that going in our family. You know, things like this. Dead mom, cook the same meal every year, teach the children about the importance of family.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I love
So
that.
when you die, they're going to have turkey sandwiches?
Oh, wow. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll erect like a statue, like with me eating a turkey sandwich or something. I don't know.
Sounds
like
a
a
little
little-
gaudy.
A painting.
There you go.
Hey, can we get to Angry Adam?
If we have any artists out there and they want to send us a nice Christmas present, a painting of Patrick, now in the Undying Lands, very happy, eating a turkey sandwich, that would be all world. All right. So
Okay, I
next
wanna
day.
get- Oh, yeah. Well, next
Here we
day.
go. Next day.
All right. I want to get to Angry Adam. Laura continues to put on the full court press on Angry Adam. And she
Can
should
I, before you get there,
Yeah.
can I really, you're passing of the Culver and Serena thing, and
Oh,
I just
sorry,
want to make
sorry.
a quick point about Culver and Serena. This is why I don't, and I struggle with this. Like, it's gross behavior, but Culver's not an angel. Someone else comes on the boat, and he's been flirting with Serena, but he goes for the hotter
so you're talking about
person.
the trailer that we see at the end of
Yes.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
But the groundwork is being laid here for him to look like an asshole, and he's done this before. And I feel like it's more of like a lovey kind of lovesick emotional manipulation type thing that he does, which is just he just keeps irons hot, and it's kind of torturous. What he's doing with Serena is. It's like shit or get off the pot, dude. I'm not saying that they need to have sex with each other right now, although they're C-Reds, they probably should. But he just does this lukewarm thing with women, and he keeps them on hooks. He did it with Bertini, who's named Bertini.
I have not hidden my annoyance with Culver. He's very, very annoying. I'm trying to find a creative name with that CEO.
We call him Butterboy.
Yeah, Butterboy. But I want something like more like hurtful. Because I just think his whole thing is a
Well,
shtick.
CAO,
CAO.
Chief Asshole Officer.
There you go. All right, it's a work in progress. We're workshopping.
What do you
that.
mean? That's
But
Chief Asshole Officer. I thought was good.
he's not so much an asshole as he's more of just a. What we can do with that E?
There's a lot that you can do there, though, Pat. There is. I thought when you said CAO that you wanted to call him cow. And I was like, that really doesn't work because he's quite fit.
All right, let me talk to Angry Adam.
Angry Adam.
All right, so Laura's obsessed with this guy, at least right now. Okay, she should have checked out his dating profile. You know how people they put in their like long walks on the beach, dog lover, yoga or whatnot. I looked up his dating
Yoga.
profile.
Yogurt? Did you
Hard
say
R.
yogurt?
Yoga,
Yep. Nope.
yoga.
Hard R.
He listed under his interests. Punching walls in a blind rage,
I love when Pat can't get through his jokes.
complaining about people. Get this one. And being angry.
Yeah, it's like
wants that guy?
It's like Charlie setting up a dating profile. Milk steak. Laura wants to change nights, and Change shifts. This moment right here is when Aisha finally kind of, I don't know if she discovers or just pulls the sword from the stone, but she acts with the confidence that authority can give you. You don't need to be an asshole, but there should be this calm comfort to the fact that you have an authority over someone. This cool, collected sniper attitude she has towards Laura is what she needed to be from the beginning.
Yes.
It's still early on in the season, so it hasn't taken her an eternity, but right now she's just Teflon Don to Laura, and Laura is not fucking happy about it.
No. I think we're seeing a management style start to evolve here in Kermit.
Yeah.
That was not there before. Yes. So-
I also think that Kermit has limits. Like if you go to your boss and you say, listen, I really want to be on a different shift because I'm flirting with this guy. Can you take the shit shift? Your boss hopefully will say, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but no, I can't do that.
Right.
And
but
then
the lime juice is less of an egregious thing.
way less.
Right,
yeah,
right.
way less.
All right, so let's get to the guest departing.
Oh, well, hold on. We got to get to Zarina recounting having a boyfriend that's so boring. She forgets he exists, you know? That's her words. That's her words.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you imagine her coming home on a different date with a different guy and they crawl into the sack, you know? And
like-
then that
it's like an
boyfriend of
episode.
hers like, did you forget I exist?
Yeah. It's right.
Should I be less boring?
It's right out of Fleabag. It's just you just forget that the person's there and you've just been cheating on them for a year.
I'm so tired of balls being around in this bed. you know?
Serena is fucking hilarious. She's so hilarious. She's just putting eggs on lettuce for dinner. But an invaluable member of this group, as we'll see in the second episode. All right. Ribs?
No, agreed.
Guest depart. So fun, these people. So patient. So not concerned with the standard of quality they were receiving.
Not at all.
And they depart in the best way ever. 2 envelopes. One for the vacation and one for
An
an
arm
wrestle.
wrestling match in which Hot Captain clearly attempted to cheat.
What do you mean?
You're not supposed to lift your elbow off the table, and he also used his free arm to gain leverage. That's cheating.
No, in the pro circuit, you have something that you grab onto to gain leverage. They don't want people's elbows getting dislocated. So you know nothing about arm wrestling.
I saw that
but
elbow lift up from the table.
I think he was using a little wedge, and if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But his wrist was getting broken and broken and broken, and
Yeah.
there was nothing that he could do. He said, in a coy way, I let him win, but I think we all know that however powerful, however thick of a cock Jason is, you know, it's just it's a painful thing about age. You know, these young bucks come in and they fuck you up, you know. That's it.
Yes.
Ruby, what did you think about this arm wrestling match?
Riveting.
All right, let's get to the tip meeting.
Oh, yes. Okay. Adam gets the fucking helmet. 25 grand for 2 days.
Yeah.
That's, I rounded up, 2,100 each. It's quite a haul.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm considering working on one of these boats. That's pretty much it.
Why don't you see how Quentin is? And then
Yeah.
if you need a vacation, you can go work on one of these boats.
Well, I'll think about it.
Honey, it's for the podcast.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can now, given what I've learned from our interview at Fraser, which will be dropping in a couple weeks, and it's a must listen.
We'll get to it.
I can afford to be on this vacation now. But I'm concerned that they'd have one of these assholes start cutting to our podcast, talking shit about these people, and then playing it to staff and making it real uncomfortable for us. Okay? That's my concern now.
You're shrouded in darkness. I can't see.
He's a dark little newspaper boy.
He looks like a little newspaper boy in Sin City right now.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I'm doing this for you, not for me.
Okay. All right, let's get to the night out.
Okay.
Adam has said no that many times, probably times many, to Laura. And
He told her he'd throw off the fucking Brooklyn Bridge if she kept it up. She is relentless.
yeah. He's like, you know what a concrete boot is?
Adam, stop it. No.
No, I'm serious. You know what a concrete boot is?
Adam, I want to love you.
He actually said, and I don't think he was kidding. He said he would actually rather his balls be smashed with a rubber mallet than to have sex with her.
You're better than that.
Him?
No, you.
Oh, okay.
There was this scene where Luke is sitting down with Aisha, and it made me feel so bad for Aisha. It's like when you see someone cornered by a dumb person or a drunk. You're just like, God, I wish I could take that pain from them. He's like, when I get drunk, I just think with my dick. And she's like, oh, wow. Fascinating. Tell me more. Oh, my God, this fucking guy. The confidence to think that anyone would give a fuck about you talking about what you think like when you're drunk and trying to fuck somebody. I can't think of something more uninteresting. Maybe Downton Abbey.
Probably not, though, no.
So the Sea Rats really turn it up. Luke acquires a plant somehow.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so before we got he acquired a plant, Harry wants to take a stroll on the beach with Margot, and then she says, I'm too drunk. That's the first time we kind of hear that.
Yeah.
And she's kind of sitting at the table. And then we get this is where production and editing kind of play with your mind a little bit. They cut to her doing an interview where she says she really would like the nice guy, but she's more attracted to the bad boys or something to that effect, which was weird how that was kind of sewn into this narrative right here, given what takes place, I guess an hour later. I bet she had said that in an interview earlier, because there's no way that she would reflect on.
This is why nice guys need to have more riz to protect people from bad boys.
Right.
Because when you act like a Hey Arnold character, there's just nothing she can do. Right.
Wouldn't it have been nice if Harry kicked down that door and just punched Luke in the face?
I would have loved it.
That would have been great.
Yeah. I feel like he would have gotten his ass kicked.
I don't think so.
Luke was pretty drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so this is the van ride back.
Harry seems like he'd fight like a giraffe, though.
Yep. Oh, he would. He's never been hit or hit, and he would do like little ostrich,
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so this is the first time. Again, I don't know if most people look. I know people are really into Below Deck, and they kind of read all the Reddit boards and everything. They kind of know what's coming up. I, as a viewer, had no clue. I thought this was going to be a typical Sea Rat jacuzzi night.
I kind of had a feeling that I thought that he had physically, I thought that he had punched somebody or there was some big fight or something and it got really bad. But
when you were seeing like the trailers,
yeah,
and stuff.
seeing Aisha cry to Captain Jason, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And what it was sexual assault. So when they get back to the boat, Aisha's defense systems, the Iron Dome, so to speak.
Can we point on one thing? So on the van ride back, Margot is clearly, and we've all been there. You're ready. You're done. You're not even going to go eat a bowl of ramen.
No.
Directly to bed. Do not pass go.
We ordered Taco Bell, and you were excited about it. Now you cannot. You ordered 5 quesadillas. We said you're not going to eat those.
And you insisted.
You insisted.
This is when Aisha's ears perk up. And I forgot what she said to him in the van. I think a couple of our listeners, they had said, my wife actually said she wanted to rewatch the episode.
There are so many. I watched it twice. There are so many little horrifying breadcrumbs that go. The grossest of which was she's blacked out in his lap in the back of the van. And he says something about later. Aisha says, like, you're not getting any tonight. And he looks at her and he looks up at Aisha and he says later.
Really?
Yes. So because of that and because of just working with him and being around him for a while, Aisha's Iron Dome is up and she is very protective of Margot because she can see that he is going to likely try something that is
illegal.
Criminal. Yeah. Criminal.
So I guess we'll get into what would be part 7 now. And I think it's going to be a little different because
No. Because the episode ends with this and it begins and picks up at the same spot. But we'll get into the next episode right here. But episode 6 ends with the actual act.
Right, which is producers try and intervene at this point. Aisha's in the hallway. Oh, the power had gone out, which is a whole other weird kind of factor in this.
He's kind of recapping it like our Aunt Lynn right now, don't you think?
Well, I'm just saying the episode ended with the power going out, which was just kind of that extra third
That's
little
the thing.
weirdness.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And then some of our Facebook group had thought that he may have used that, not turn the power off, but use that to his advantage to then sneak away into Margot's cabin at that point, because everyone was busy trying to see what was going on with the boat.
Oh my God.
And I
if
don't
that
want
comes out that he did that.
Well, no, I don't think he turned off the power because he was clearly not near anything that would turn off.
Yeah.
But you're saying the idea that he'd say this is my opportunity while everybody's busy doing this. This is a lot of assumptions here. But a lot of people talked about that on the Facebook group.
Yeah, assumptions we need not. Whether the lights were on, whether the lights were off, he leaves the jacuzzi with some either evil or dumb or a combination of both impulse to go and have set what?
When you combine those words, it's devil. I mean,
Or double.
yeah.
Both of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you guys want to break this down? We obviously there was a clear, the various steps of this and the actual event and how everything was dealt with it. How do you guys want to?
Can we talk about? Can you and I talk really quickly?
Sure.
He's Aunt Lynn right now.
I
he's
know, Dylan.
Well, I just want to be very delicate, and I want to
be.
be delicate and respectful about the subject matter.
Yeah.
and not fuck it up.
No,
I would
of course.
say if you're remotely triggered by anything, you should turn the episode off now because
and
we're going to
also-
discuss it at length.
Yes, we're going to discuss it at length right now. And also, bravo. Somebody mentioned this. I don't know if it was in our Facebook group
It's
or
been
another.
everywhere.
Hey, bravo. Pat was blown away that this happened, and he's never been sexually assaulted or raped. So why don't you let people know that this is coming in the episode, just in case somebody's gone through something like this before? I mean, my God.
They put trigger warnings on
They
like
put trigger warnings on
fucking-
everything.
there will be masks shown in this segment. So if you have
People
a
are going
loved
to be
one,
smoking.
yeah, exactly.
If there are trigger warnings at the beginning of ridiculousness, there should be a trigger warning on this episode.
Rob Dyrdek took to Twitter this morning and was like, "Yo, get your fucking warnings.
Take your P's and Q's from us, okay?" So what happens is Margot is placed in bed by Aisha and the production.
After saying, "I just want my bed and water, no Luke."
No Luke. Definitively no Luke. And Luke, with the devil's impulse, goes downstairs, takes off his clothes, and bum rushes her room. It's filmed in as horrifying a way. The horrifying nature of the way that it's filmed mirrors what he's doing. Like there's this descent kind of filming. He looks like a monster when he's up there. Like,
And he's angry. He's very indignant when production, I think it was at least 2 knocks at the door or 2 tries. He is visibly angry. How dare you
yeah.
try and prevent me from doing what I want to do right now?
Yeah.
And then they also at one point they're like, "Luke, buddy, you gotta go. You gotta go." And they were pretty nice about it. And he was like, "She's fine. Margot, you a 9 and 9 or a 10 out of 10?" And she was like, "I don't fucking yeah."
That line too, that like last ditch effort to manufacture some kind of entryway for his fucking dumb dick.
Yeah.
Are you a 10 out of 10? Are you a 9 out of 10? What are you doing? What kind of like demonic fucking shit are you trying to accomplish right now?
And your comfortability with it is disturbing to a degree that it makes a lot of people feel as though this is something that you've done before or
Yeah.
that this is something that you deem okay to do.
Can I jump off that for a second?
Yeah.
So a younger, less, I'd say, evolved me, when I heard like a stat, I think it was like 15 years ago, that said, did you know that 1 in 6 women will be sexually assaulted by the time they're 30 or something. My younger brain was always like, this is how dumb males think. Oh, there's a bunch of serial killers out there that jump from the bushes because you have this version of what you think a sexual assault is.
Yeah.
And in reality, sorry, this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, but we're talking real here.
Forget the comedy for
Yes,
a bit.
this is what sexual assault generally is.
Yeah.
Someone incapacitated, unable to sorry, what's the word?
Have any agency
Any
over
agency
their
at all.
body or their
Consent.
thoughts.
Yeah, consent, and then this happens, and then the female wakes up the next morning absolutely confused by what transpired.
Well,
the night
and
before.
there's listen, people get drunk and they hook up and they might regret doing it. But there is a line the width of the fucking United States of America when it comes to somebody who is literally passed out. And if you go through the machinations and the steps to cross it, you are, as Angry Adam would say, a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
Can we bring up a couple things there? I think it's been covered quite a bit, but at least kind of lay down. She, at this point, has openly thwarted any invitation for this guy to be in her, because we've watched this show for 5 years. This show, and I'd like to discuss this a little
There's
bit more.
plenty of messy hooking up.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was so definitive about no.
Definitive about no. Drunk. She's only known this idiot for a week and a half. This isn't and by the way, it wouldn't be right even if it was someone that she's engaged in these acts for. Again, let me make sure this is concrete.
Yeah.
That still wouldn't make it right. But him completely naked and then hopping in that bed uninvited. These are all facts of this for anybody. And by the way, I haven't really seen anybody out there kind of in some weird position try and
The
defend.
only person that has done that is him with his weird Instagram post showing off his abs. Hey, nobody gives a shit about your fucking abs, okay? Hopefully they can protect you in prison or not protect you. But nobody gives a fuck about your body. Nobody gives a fuck about your opinion on the matter. You're a scumbag. And this kind of thinking, which is this... You talk about how he doesn't really know her. They're essentially strangers. It's this misogynistic kind of entitlement where he is like Richie Rich to women. He's just like, this is mine. This belongs to me.
Right.
I don't get how people can think like this.
I'm going to make an assumption, and this is just Pat talking out of his ass. I don't think this is his first rodeo.
No.
And perhaps this might inspire some people to come out of the woodwork.
Hopefully, yeah.
Sorry, I know that's a major assumption. This seemed a little too normal, even for a drunk person. You know how they always say a drunk person? God, I feel like I'm being inappropriate right now.
No, you're not being inappropriate.
It's just the
they amplify the darker sides of yourself, and some people are darker than others.
There's a saying that the drunk person says what the sober person thinks, and sometimes the drunk person's actions, almost like just muscle memory, are what the real person does. Major assumptions. Can I talk? And if you guys want to go chronologically,
I don't even think it's major assumptions.
No, I think
okay.
I said it. I
I
completely
thought
agree.
about this
Yeah.
a lot today. I haven't. It's stupid. This is a stupid television show, and I have to tell you, this is something that definitely I hate.
But
the word
it's a big thing though, because you don't get to see this kind of dumb evil, devil evil, played out in front of you all the time. Like it's not something that we are privy to knowing, and we should know it more. Unfortunately, people experience this on a very personal level, but it's like somebody putting GHB in someone's drink. Like, how the fuck, as just a normal person, you wonder how anyone could ever do that. But men like this exist.
But then when you say men like that, like if I were to seriously sit down with you, any of your friends, any of the men in my life, and describe the situation to them, every single one of them would say, this is disturbingly not okay. And just no, all across the board, this is criminal, this is fucking creepy, and this is not okay. he doesn't seem to think that way, and
Yeah.
he genuinely believes that this is like
An
like,
understandable thing.
And you know that if she were to have woken up in the morning and gone to Aisha and freaked out if they had sex and been like, I was really drunk and I don't know what happened, that he would have been like, I don't know what the fuck her problem is. Like, Margot, why don't you talk to me then? Like, why didn't you say that you weren't comfortable with it?
Right.
So I'm supposed to know how.
Smashed her
Fucking
over the head with a
loser.
gaslight.
Yeah.
And let's say this categorically, and this is an assumption that I can make categorically. Had no one stepped in, she would have been raped.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Oh, yeah.
fucking sure that if no one stepped in, she was getting raped.
Right. I agree
yeah.
with you.
Yeah. I want to talk about something, jump off what Ruby said. Something about
We have to get to Muskrat Laura at some point.
the idea of his mindset. Now, I'm not going to blame the show for this, but I do want, Dylan and I have been covering this show for 5 years, and I talked about this with him on the phone earlier
It's the
today.
industry. It's not just the show. Got
that
it.
covers the industry.
Yeah.
This industry is a vestige of the past.
Mm-hmm.
It is much more mimics the freewheeling 60s and
Mad
70s
Men,
Mad Men.
yeah.
You know, slap a woman on the ass and hey, you know, she was drinking all night. It
With
was-
none of the crystal and none of the three-piece suits.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and as we've covered
Because
this
that
for
makes
years,
it so much better. The crystal. and
Well,
the
that
three-
makes it okay. Yeah.
this show is very much, if you think about it, and there are a lot of young people that work on these boats, and I'm not convinced necessarily that the industry as a whole is what we see on Below Deck. They have a very specific kind of vertical of what they cover, but it very much mimics what I would consider a very dangerous environment, and they've been very lucky, which is young people in their 20s. It's almost like college, right? There's dormitories, right, where you have mixed sexes sleeping right next to each other. Alcohol, a hierarchy of older kids. You know, generally the department heads are, in most cases, an older male, and they have been very lucky that this is the first time that they've got here. Because as Dylan and I have covered it for 5 years, they rub right up against that line.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've many times seen
It's shocking that this hasn't happened to this degree.
to get to here. I mean, we've witnessed just drunkenness of like not take it away from sexual assault, just people almost injuring themselves because they're fucking wasted.
Yeah.
On these vessels.
But it's also losing the quality of this show is nothing compared to Margot's,
and by the way, I don't think we've
welfare.
spoken to Margot, and I think she does listen. Margot, we're there for you.
Oh my God. Of course.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm undecided, but yeah. The thing about this is like, this is the person at the baseball stadium that throws the glass bottle onto the field, and now we've got to drink out of shitty aluminum.
All right.
Yeah.
So your point is, Dylan, we covered
We
another
love
show.
the sea rat shit. Don't do the thing where, yes, they rub right up against the line. But again, like I said, the line is so thick. The fact that Luke and Laura have to be pulled away from criminality as though they are at some kind of fucking summer camp by these producers is just disgusting. It's like there's so much allotted on this show. There's such a long leash because they're all adults, but when you do this kind of shit, I mean, you can't do anything else but fire them, but maybe screen better. Maybe let's not have fucking homophobic, misogynistic, Eastern European spies who put corn on top of chips on the show. Like, let's just not do that.
Because Dylan, what you're kind of bringing up is, all right, so why people like this show.
It's debauchery.
It's debauchery. Also, for whatever reason, from an evolution standpoint, all us married people, we love to watch hookup culture on TV. And that's really fun. And sometimes in order to lubricate the freeness of that, there's alcohol involved.
Yes.
And yes, we don't want the show ruined. But at the same time, covering this industry the way it's covered,
We're kind of turning a blind eye to some stuff that's like,
We-
this environment is dangerous.
Well, The Bachelor literally did this. And then like the
Yeah.
next day they were like, okay, so we don't really know how to say this, but somebody was really fucked up and kind of raped and we're really sorry. And then everyone was like, oh no. And then well, that sucks. Anyways,
Yeah.
can I get a margarita Wells? Give me a
Yeah.
margarita.
Well, so- I will.
So I can tell you what they did
He's
actually.
like,
though.
no, we got to wait 7 minutes.
So they instituted basically they producers watch them. They were only allotted certain drinks in a day. So I think obviously to prevent things like that.
Right.
Like
now
rape.
that can't happen you won't cast the show. They're all drunks. You won't get anybody on board if they can't
No.
binge drink.
No.
So,
Right.
all right. So we're transitioned to the next episode. There's a candid shot of jellyfish, and then they just smash cut to this horror. Really bizarre. But after Luke is pulled off of Margot, confidant Laura walks in, calls Luke honey, I think. Mm-hmm. And then Aisha heads into Margot's bed. Margot says that she didn't consent to him being in there. And then Laura goes on a full-on attack. They have to pull Laura off of Adam. And it's obviously the dynamic is very, very different given...
He could beat the shit out of her.
Given that he could beat the shit out of
conscious.
her. But, and he's conscious.
It's important. It's
yeah,
important.
super important. But... God, it was such an egregious error. I lost my train of thought because the part that he's conscious
Yeah,
is
no.
a huge difference. But yeah, it's just a bummer that these two fucking demons are on this boat. There's a tough scene up next. Aisha goes up and talks to Captain Jason. She's been sexually assaulted before. We learned that, I think, in her first season when the filthy Scouser was joking about it. She says... Who knows what would have happened if I hadn't been there? We covered it. We know,
Rape. That's what would have happened, most likely.
Let's get to the next day.
Next day.
The insidious demonic behavior begins from Laura instantaneously. The fact that she is in direct contrast, as loudly as she is, about her state of well-being in comparison to Margot is so purposeful and so disgusting.
Well, I have a quote.
I feel great.
Margot-
I feel magnificent.
As they clean the bed, and Margot kind of shares what took place the night before, and I think she's still kind of in the fog of it. Laura says, and I quote, "If he comes into my cabin, I be like ... hello, yes, exclamation point."
She is a bogwench.
Yeah.
And she is an enemy of women.
I think so too.
So-
And I don't understand how it can come to be this fervently in her other than the culture that she was brought up in. Maybe it was just her family, but I don't get how you could hate women this much and love men that much. It's crazy to me. Aisha needs to talk to Margot about what transpired. Laura is standing there like a bogwench, and Aisha dismisses her. Then she brings Serena into the conversation because she knows that Serena will add to this web of support that Margot needs right now from the other women on this boat. And that's on display when Margot feels embarrassed about the entire thing. And Serena says, you should be able to be as blackout as, however drunk you want to be and still feel safe. And the fact that Margot was like, I was being flirty and I was embarrassed. This is the kind of thinking that Luke could smell
Yeah.
from a mile away
Yeah.
and then just obliterate her with,
And I did think it was very, very funny that Serena was like, I mean, you should be able to stand naked in a public place and no one should be able to do anything.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
although
yeah.
principally, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I do think in a public place, maybe not rape. No one should ever be able to.
no.
But excuse
A
me,
couple
miss.
pictures,
You don't have snap. And also, here's a shirt. You're unclothed.
No, you
know?
just point out that they're naked in case they were recently abducted by an alien or something. But you can't go up and like flip people's
No, you
boobs or
can't.
anything like that. You can't do that. You got to feel safe wherever you are, except in war.
Right. It was a beautiful moment between the three of them, though.
Beautiful.
I really did think it was wonderful.
And I love that Margot is so overwhelmed by the love on the boat. That's what always made me cry, like at soccer or something. Like when I was at soccer camp in Santa Barbara and this little girl kicked a soccer ball in my face, almost broke my jaw. I was crying, and all the camp counselors were around me, and they were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Don't love me so much right now. I can't." It's like that.
It's exactly like that.
It's like that.
And
the
I'm very
love is the most emotional part.
And then Zarina cooking that wonderful comfort food because everybody chips in for what they can offer to make the situation better. That was a nice moment. I still think she talks to walls.
Well, we gather for a
She
meeting.
does.
Laura is disgusting once again. she is talking about how sad she is that Luke is gone, and that's when he walks aboard and gathers his stuff. She begins almost crying and telling Harry that she's sad. I'll just say it for. I might say it again, but Laura, just shut the fuck up.
This will be a crazy reunion if they have one. I doubt they will.
better.
I doubt they will.
I hope if they do, Luke should not be anywhere near it. I don't think, as much as Aisha needs to know about how he thinks while he's out trying to get pussy when he's drunk, we need to hear him fucking defend or contextualize his attempted rape of Margot. Like, we don't need him on.
Well, according to him, it's just, you aren't reading the right story.
Right. So Laura's sadness continues more into the closed quarters with Margot. She wants Margot to tell her what happened. She already knows what happened.
At this point, yes, she does.
She makes Margot tell her again and says that if it was her, she would have welcomed him in. And she says that if she would have just made him happy, this wouldn't have happened. And then says, in a bizarre, you called her a bogwench. She imbues herself with this kind of sexual power that the rejection of her is the karmic origin of why this happened to him.
Interesting.
Are you as dumb as you look? Like I just, what Luke did is obviously an archetypal and cosmic horror. We have to sit so much in this episode in Laura's bullshit. She just takes so many bites at the apple with Margot. I was just like, get her off my television screen. I don't want to look at her anymore.
It appears to, like, at the very, very, very beginning when this all starts to happen, oh my God, I've never felt this good, is like, she clearly has no fucking idea. And then it becomes clear, no, she does.
Yeah.
No, she does. And she's just a bog wench.
Right.
I don't have any other word for it. She's a fucking cunt bog
She
wench.
was there when the producer, she was privy to the entire
She was
tornado
on the
stuff.
sideline.
So she knew that there was something in that room. So when she says she feels great, she knows what she's doing. Aisha checks in on Adam, and Culver pretends to be bosun for a day. The only thing that the producers do wrong, like I mentioned, is showing Margot drinking during this, because she gets called up to the captain's quarters, and
Drinking
I'm like,
before the night out, or drinking during the day?
on the job. They have that drunk cam in the kitchen.
Fuck it.
I don't think
For next week's preview, you mean?
No, they've done it. Laura was the one earlier on in the season when she's
yeah.
drinking during the day. They show Margot doing it twice this episode.
Maybe that's a moment of calming your nerves. I don't think it's a hit piece.
I don't think it's a hit piece, because it's perfectly understandable
Yeah.
that she's calming her nerves like this. But with the context of the main rule is that you don't drink when you're working, and she's working, don't need to show this. Don't need to show this.
Just not this week, especially.
Not this week.
Yeah.
Just don't show this.
I will say really quickly, too, I was very happy with the way that they handled the entire situation, because they could have easily been, like what you said, Captain could have easily been like, all right, we're going to go to bed and like we'll talk about this in the morning.
Suss
like,
it
hey,
out in the
done.
AM.
Sounds like some other captains that we've had in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah. There was an
that I hate.
investigation.
Right.
Well, there wasn't an investigation, and everyone is still on board, and that's not okay. But he said there is nothing gray about this.
Yeah,
I
no.
liked it.
Captain
I liked
Jason acted with a swift guillotine this episode, and it was beautiful to watch. So we move on to the laundry room. Laura calls Margot into the laundry room for no other reason than to tell Margot that part of this is her fault. And this is, she says, you're a sexual person. He's a sexual person.
We're all sexual creatures.
He must have felt welcomed by you. This is the line that makes Margot go to Aisha, and in just the most J-Law way, like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, it's not even like, obviously there's hurt there, but it's more confusion. Like, why is she doing this so much? It's so bizarre.
She's like Aunt Lydia in Handmaid's Tale. She's just like, no, come. Be quieter when they rape you, and they won't be so mean about it, Laura.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Do I need to get the brand hot again?
Thank you.
Thankfully, Margot tells Aisha, and what are we doing? The word gets passed at the flagpole to Captain Jason, and he calls Laura in to fire her after speaking to Margot and speaking to Adam.
And he asked her what she said.
Yeah.
she lied. She did.
He confronts her about being a fucking scumbag and a liar and a predator, and then he fires her. Laura says this is bullshit and that she should have had a warning. Here's the issue with warnings. If they aren't attempting to prevent a cancerous soul or character, then they can be administered. But I don't think warning you about this is really going to change your behavior in any way, shape, or form. And also to subject Margot to being around you for another second, given what she's been through and what you said, is unethical.
Because you're a cunt bogwench.
I wonder how much Hot Pants Captain, Rack a Lamb Captain.
Yeah.
How much did the Adam stuff have to play, or was it 100% just how she'd been kind of treating Margot?
I think the Adam stuff was something that he could have given her a warning about.
Right.
And that would have been fine. I think it was the Margot stuff.
Yeah.
I think what she was doing to Adam was
insane.
That was criminal, and she should have been fucking fired for it. And
Totally.
I really,
If we're being consistent.
I don't
Yeah.
think she would have been fired for it, but I do think that
I respected Adam a lot too, because when he was talking to the captain, even he at that point he was trying to downplay it and was like, "Yeah, she was kind of like trying to come." No, Adam.
No,
She
no.
was literally on your naked back, putting lotion on you while you were trying to go to bed.
it's so hard to do when you're so high. Ugh.
So
Get out of here.
props to Aisha
Yeah,
and Captain Hot Pants for dealing with that the way he did. Maybe we have learned something, some of us.
yeah.
Yeah, a couple last minute things. Aisha reaches Super Saiyan mode when she walks into Laura's room and says, "Can I help you pack?"
Chef's kiss.
My God, Chef's kiss. That was so amazing. And then also, it was, I hope Angry Adam gets angry again, because I don't want to be conflicted, okay? It's too many.
No, we've already got a name for you.
I
man.
know. You got to be
I'm
angry.
printing a T-shirt that I ordered. Okay,
You can't be a good guy now, because when
I don't. It's gonna be
Aisha
weird to scratch the angry part out with a red Sharpie.
When Aisha tells him that she's fired, he's like, because he, contrary to Luke, he may flare up and he's angry at him, but at his core, he was raised by a manja mom, and he just has this natural instinct to be like, fuck, I'm sad that even though she attempted to sexually assault me numerous times, she got fired because of it.
Yeah.
Where's this season gonna go after this? This is crazy.
Well,
He's
let's
gonna-
talk about where the season's going. We've heard some rumors about this show. Its longevity may be under duress or threatened. I think that it's maybe because of the event that we covered today, but I do not think, given what Luke has done, Joao is the right person to bring onto
Didn't
this
he kill
boat.
someone with a dog bone or something?
No, he didn't. What he did do was watch while his mother was beat within an inch of her life with a bone, which is probably one of the many tragic reasons why he is the way he is. But given that we're trying to protect people at this point, and we should always try to do that, but really now try to protect people, let's not have a toxic asshole come on this boat in a leadership position. It's probably just not a great idea.
Yeah.
And your boy Adam did say in the preview that he does think they're going to fight. Fight.
Nice.
I hope that it doesn't come to that, but if it does, I hope it's captured on television. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope it was well done, delicately done. What?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, it's just a bum. Like
Hopefully
Rube
we didn't
said,
say anything stupid.
it's a big bummer. It's a big bummer. But kudos to production. Kudos to Aisha. Margot sending out love to everybody on the cast who isn't subhuman. And Worthless is such a beautiful thing to see. And I think at the end of all this, regardless of how horrific it was, a lot of weird beauty came from this.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes you watch something, you hope people can learn from it too.
Yeah, I think we did. Kaylin, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, so everybody join us on Patreon for season 1 of Below Deck. Follow Ruby on TikTok at Papaya Dog Girl. Get in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Big time.
Leave us a review right now.
5 stars, kind words. Join us on Facebook. Join us on Bad TV Podcast on YouTube. We love you guys very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later.
Ruby.
Bye-bye.
Kaylin.
Later.